This morning, an ROV, or remote operated vehicle, from the vessel Horizon Arctic discovered the tail cone of the Titan submersible approximately 1,600 feet from the bow of the Titanic on the seafloor. The ROV subsequently found additional debris. In consultation with experts from within the Unified Command, the debris is consistent with the catastrophic loss of the pressure.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ty here, and as you can see from the pre-roll, wait a second, I'm a little off kilter. Now, let's turn this a little bit this way. Yeah, your boy's right. All right, let's get into it. All right, so I've been hearing so much about this submarine thing that I thought it's finally time that I just see what's going on. I have absolutely no idea what's going on, so I'm just trying to get kind of caught up. I've kind of been under a rock the past week or so on a different kind of project, so yeah, the videos that I have uploaded are automatically set to upload. You know, that's just kind of the kind of guy I am. I hope you guys didn't miss me too much. All right, let's dive in. What was the first thing that happened? And it was this.
CBS News has learned that the Boston Coast Guard is operating a search and rescue mission for a missing submarine.
The sub was exploring the wreckage of the Titanic. The sub went missing in the Atlantic Ocean near Canada. The Titanic sunk off the southeast coast of Newfoundland, Canada, after hitting an iceberg in 1912. The ship's wreck site wasn't found until 1985. It now sits more than 12,000 feet below the ocean's surface. More than 2,200 passengers and crew were aboard the vessel at the time of the disaster. At least 1,500 of those people were killed when the ship sank.
CBS News foreign correspondent Imtiaz Tayyab joins us now. Imtiaz, what more do we know about this missing submarine?
This is so weird. It's like, this is such a weird trip to take. Like, that's such a, like, I wonder what the demographic of the people that went in there was, because it's like, man, it's gonna be hard to say it was some black. I doubt there was any black people on this submarine, because there's no way. Ain't no way black people going on this submarine to go look at the Titanic. So you want me to go to a place of like a mass? No. Nah. I'm good. I'm Gucci. I'll stay on land. I'll stay on this little iceberg over here. This is crazy. Just to go, like, it's not like a scientific exploration. It's not like a fact-finding mission. It's just to go look at the Titanic. Let's just go. You gotta have money to do that.
Green.
Elaine, Nikki, good to be with you. Well, this is a really fast-moving story. In fact, we've only received a statement from the company behind this tour really in the last hour or so, and I can read it out to you, and it is very short. There's only 4 bullet points here. It simply says, we're exploring, mobilizing all options to bring our crew back safely. Our entire focus is on the crew members and the submersibles and their families, and we're deeply thankful for the extensive assistance we've received from government agencies and deep-sea companies in our efforts to reestablish contact with the submersible. There's a bit more detail here as well, not a huge amount, really focusing on the crew members on board. But when they say submersibles, it's not a sub in what you might think it is. It's a very small vessel. In fact, CBS Sunday Morning about a year ago traveled on that very vessel and saw the Titanic on it, and the images were pretty extraordinary. You see this vessel, it's not big, and only a few people could go on board, and they basically were drilled into it. The only way to get out is if you're out of the water and drilled back out of it. And
what does that mean?
And so, they
What do you
describe it
mean by
as,
drilled
a
into it?
one-of-a-kind carbon fiber vessel. This company has been around since 2009, but it's only, again, as we've been saying in the last year, that it's been offering tours to tourists to the tune of around $250,000 for this 8-day trip. But this is the first time that we're hearing of anything like this, which is losing contact with one of their vessels. Now, I suppose the one good thing at this stage, without having found this submersible, is the fact that the area with which it has gone missing is well known and well tracked. And as we've been hearing, CBS News can confirm that the Boston Coast Guard has been brought in. It is part of the search, and it is assisting in trying to find this submersible.
This is such a crazy,
really
like this is so crazy that's what like these people like you pay $250,000 to go and see the Titanic. Yo, we made a movie about it. Watch the movie. Yo, this is nuts. And let's see what happens next. All right, so after that, a couple of days or so later, I don't know like what the timeline is for this. So this one is the 19th of June. So this was on Monday, right? On Monday is that first clip I showed you. That was when they were looking for him. The next day after that, right? So this is what came out about the submersible itself. All right.
Pieces of this sub seemed improvised.
We can use these off-the-shelf components. I got these from Camper World. We run the whole thing with this game controller.
No. Yo, I'm paying $250. I'm paying $250 to ride in something that is controlled by a fucking PS1 controller? Bro, y'all tripping. Y'all are tripping, bro. That shit doesn't even have DualShock. I promise you, you couldn't even get a PS5 controller. You couldn't get a like Xbox One control. You couldn't, bro. That's a Logitech, bro. That thing doesn't have DualShock capabilities. At least if you had DualShock, you would know if you were like going too deep or something. Like, what is this? Yo, the first thing they said is
Pieces of this sub seemed improvised.
I'm not riding. I'm not going. We not going. Pieces of this seems. Let's look at this. This professional grade $250,000 ride sub to ballast bag. What does that even say? Vroom? It just goes vroom. That's what it. Vacuum. Dive left. Oh man, this is tough. And y'all did not get y'all money's worth, that's for sure.
We can use these off-the-shelf components. I got these from Camper World. We run the whole thing with this game controller.
Come on, y'all gambling. You're gambling with your life. Like, unless they were like AAA certified, like knowing, like there's no way. It just seems so dangerous. Like, is there any sort of accreditation for submarine rides? Like, yo, what the hell? How is that legal? How is that even possible? That they can run that operation without any like checks and balances? It makes no sense whatsoever. Like, I'm so dumbfounded by how they got away with this. All right, so the day after that, apparently they had found some audio. Oh my god, this is tough. I don't know if I can watch, like, okay, it's just audio. I'm not watching anything. It's audio. All right, stupid. All right, let's listen to this audio. Oh my goodness.
New details tonight on that missing Titanic submersible. Despite a broadened search today, still no visible sign of the vessel, but there are reports of sounds detected. As an expert we spoke to says that window of opportunity is quickly closing.
The thing is, for every second that they're not found, they're just sinking further and further, and we are not good. Like the pressure could only last so long. Like it's only pressurized for so long before the sea is gonna crush it. Like nature cares not. Like it is nuts.
I believe at best we have 25 hours left.
Butch Hendrick has performed surface and subsurface water rescues for more than 30 years. Tuesday night, the founder of this New York-based public
20 to
safety
25
dive
hours left, and that was June 21. That was yesterday. That was yesterday.
Company told Fox 11 he believes the missing submersible is either tangled in the Titanic wreckage.
Because the debris that is around the Titanic is so intense. To get entangled is quite easy.
Or the 21-foot vessel carrying one pilot and 4 passengers is the victim of a leak.
And very quietly and slowly flooded inside.
Hendrick says best case scenario is the sub known as the Titan is entangled, but even then, that comes with its own challenges.
It's good news because it would be easier to find. It may not be good news based on the fact that we have to figure out how we would untangle it.
As of Tuesday morning, the United States Coast Guard said a total of 10,000 square miles had been searched off the coast of Cape Cod.
It's a challenging operation.
The submersible lost communication less than 2 hours into its Sunday journey to the
Jesus
Titanic,
Christ.
about 13,000 feet below.
Wow.
Rolling Stone reporting an aircraft heard banging sounds at 30-minute intervals from the area where the sub disappeared during Tuesday's search, but still no sign of the sub.
There's truly nothing else like it.
Meanwhile, a promotional video produced by submersible operator Oceangate touts the Titanic expedition as a once-in-a-lifetime journey, while this clip of the CEO, Stockton Rush, seems to indicate the sub is run by a video game controller.
It's basically a Sony PlayStation style.
That's what I said. It's a PlayStation controller. He didn't even opt for PlayStation. Bro, there's PS5. Bro, do you know how many generations? Oh my God. Bro, you might as well have just used a Sega. Like just, oh my God. Yo, this guy, you're getting sued, bro. You are getting so sued. You're getting so sued. Oh my God. If this guy doesn't get sued, I don't know what's happening. Oh, dude, this guy's going down. There's no, bruh. I mean, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm just tripping because like maybe submarine technology doesn't require that. Like, is that what it is? Like, it just doesn't require anything past 1999. Like, I'm so flabbergasted by how this passed any sort of regulation. He probably just didn't look for any regulation. Jesus Christ.
Tuesday, Oceangate confirmed Rush is the expedition pilot, and his passengers include a British billionaire, a French mariner, and members of a prominent Pakistani business family. Hendrick believes if the sub is intact, it will run out of oxygen by Wednesday night.
It's possible that the 96 hours was never tested, that nobody ever actually put 5 people in this submersible and then said, how long can we last?
Initially, officials said the sub had 96 hours of oxygen, but you just heard Hendrick and his doubts that that was ever tested with 5 people on board.
Easy, right? That's nuts, bruh. The love of money is crazy. Money itself isn't like. How could you overlook all? You're literally putting people's lives in danger, right? Like, I'm so confused as to how that can fly. Like, how that can be okay. This is crazy. Okay. On top of all of that, a guy comes out with a story. One of the crew's pilot. He tells this story.
Jose da Silva captained the supply ship on one of his missions.
He's very experimented.
Da Silva says he's unflappable once his submersible got stuck on the Titanic itself.
One time the rover was stuck in a Titanic piece, and we had to do a lot of maneuvers to be able to bring the hub back to onboard ship.
A German adventurer who made the same trip in Titan in 2021 told Sky News he thought the voyage was safe, but it wasn't a pleasant experience.
You cannot stand, you cannot stay on your knees, you only sit 10 and a half hours in the same situation.
Wait. Are we gonna just gloss over the fact that this guy looks like the guy from Up? Or like Drew Carey a little bit? He looks just like the granddad from Up if he was young. Before he gets old. Okay, I digress. Maybe if I find a picture of him, I'll bring it, but no.
10 and a half hours in the same situation.
The North Atlantic can be a formidable foe. The depths and tides frighten most
Jesus
people.
Christ,
This is a challenging place to conduct a rescue operation. It was when the Titanic sank, and it still is now.
Which is why?
One official told us it's like looking for a needle in a moving haystack.
Okay. I was mowing the lawn, and I had my studs in. I wiped my face. I dropped the stud. I watched it fall into the grass. I looked away for a second. I looked back. I couldn't find it. And that's just grass. You're talking about a submersible that is in the ocean with moving currents. It could have drifted so far away. Anything could have happened to it. It could have gotten crushed, everybody sucked out, and scattered across the seas from left to right. It could have been shark food. Oh my God. Well, okay, the fact that we're going to like the Titanic as like a hangout spot is already a problem. Like the Titanic is not a hangout spot. Like, I don't know who was like, yo, let's go see what the Titanic is doing. It's still sunk. It's still sunk. You paid $250,000. $250,000 to kneel and crouch to look at something you can see on pictures the same way. What are you gonna be like? Oh man, the experience, but you'll never be able to experience it. That's not a safe way to experience that shit at all. Oh my God. Oh my. This doesn't make any sense. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the way that the CEO sounds. It sounds like when those planes kept crashing, and part of the reason was because like nobody wanted to tell, like there was like a culture of like not telling people who were in charge like when there was something wrong in that country. Like that was how like they just dealt with things, and it wasn't like, but it kind of caused them to not do anything about it. And then negligence essentially is what kind of killed them. And this is essentially the same, like negligence. This is just pure negligence. Like where's the paperwork that you, like the guy said, like that you guys tested the day of, a week before, a month before, a year before, that you tested 5 people going down to the feet, to the depth of the Titanic, and then testing the oxygen level that you have there. Did you test that, right? Is that something you actually did? Or you're guessing based on shoddy math one of your engineer guys did? And I'm not trying to like take a swing at engineers. Like that's not this some sort of weird engineer. But like, I'm just saying, like, you've You've got to be kidding me. All right, so here's, like all of this stuff is coming out. Let's look at some of what we know about the ocean, just like as a little reminder, right? Because I think people forget how scary the ocean is, right? Like the ocean is a very, very scary place. You gotta respect the ocean. And this is coming from a guy who plays a little dangerous himself. Like, you've got to respect Mother Nature. That's one thing I always kind of fall back to is Mother Nature don't play. Mother Nature doesn't play any games with you. Mother Nature doesn't care about your feelings. Mother Nature will throw a tornado, it's so interesting how insignificant we can feel at the vastness, at the power of these natural things that we can't control. Like, if you've ever been in the ocean, you understand what I'm talking about, in the sense that, like, if you get caught under like a wave or a riptide, it's a pretty frightening experience. It's like a really like traumatizing experience for real, because the water it's not like, oh man, let me gently put you. It's like, it takes you whatever it wants to do with you, it does, regardless of how you feel about the situation, right? So Mother Nature is not to be toyed with, and I feel like as humans, we play around a lot, mess around with Mother Nature a lot. We be testing her. We be trying to see, Mother, what would you let me really get away with? Sometimes she's like, nothing. Nah, you ain't giving away. No. Like, crazy.
Ocean is really, really deep. Deeper, in fact, than most of us realize. If you were to shave off all of the land from the tops of every continent and island in the world and fill up the ocean's deepest points with that land, then the entire Earth would be covered in an ocean 2 miles deep. 3/4 of our planet is already covered in water, though, and it goes a lot deeper than just 2 miles. Let's start with a sense of scale. This dot right here is the size of an average human. This slightly larger dot is the size of an elephant, and this is the size of the largest ship ever built, the Knock Nevis. With that in mind, let's start going underwater and see what we find out. The first milestone is at 40 meters below the surface, which is the maximum depth allowed for recreational scuba diving. A little further down at 93 meters is where the wreck of the Lusitania was discovered, which is interesting because the Lusitania itself is 240 meters long, which means that it sank in water shallower than it is long, so if the ship was standing on its stern or bow, it would be sticking out of the water. Just slightly deeper than that, at 100 meters, is where diving can become seriously fatal if you're not careful because of decompression sickness. But that didn't stop a man named Herbert Nitsch to accomplish the free diving world record at a depth of 214 meters. This guy swam down to this level with just one single breath. But a little further down at 332 meters, we have the scuba diving world record, which was accomplished by another man named Ahmed Gabir. If he had swam down another 111 meters, then he would have reached the height of the Empire State Building if it was submerged underwater. And a little further than that, at 500 meters below the surface, we arrive at the maximum dive depth of blue whales, the largest creatures on the planet and also the limit of the US Seawolf-class nuclear submarine. At 535 meters, we can witness the maximum dive depth of emperor penguins, and this is when we must bring up the intensity of water pressure. At this level below the surface, the water pressure exerted on a person or the penguins would be roughly equivalent to a polar bear standing on a quarter. So further down the depths, at 830 meters, would be the height of the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, the tallest building in the world. Once we hit 1,000 meters below the surface, we begin to enter the scary zone. Light from the surface can no longer reach beyond this point, so the rest of the ocean below is shrouded in permanent darkness. On top of that, the water pressure you would experience at this—
Y'all better stop playing with the ocean. Y'all better stop playing with the ocean. It's not a game. It's not a game out here. The ocean is not playing with you. It just goes dark. It just say, all right, let there be light. Nope. No. God said, let there be light for y'all. He ain't say nothing for me. He said, I'm good down here in my darkness. That's what he said. He said, I'll be good. I'm A1 down here with no lights. Jesus Christ.
Point would be about the same as if you were standing on the surface of the planet Venus, meaning that you would die very quickly. You would also meet the giant squid at this sea level if the water pressure didn't already kill you. At 1,280 meters, we reach the maximum depth dived to by the leatherback sea turtle, and further down at 1,828 meters, we would reach the deepest part of the Grand Canyon were it to be underwater with us. Down at 2,000 meters, we start to encounter some of the more terrifying sea creatures, like the ominously named black dragonfish, a carnivorous beast with a stomach that doesn't allow light to be emitted through it. Meaning that since we're in total darkness underwater at this point, the only way you would ever see this thing is with a flashlight. A little further down at 2,250 meters, we would reach the maximum depth dived to by both sperm whales and the very frightening colossal squid. Sperm whales often have sucker marks and scars left on their bodies from battles with the colossal squid that likely take place at these incredible depths. The squids themselves can grow to be 14 meters long and weigh up to 750 kilograms with eyes the size of a dinner plate and razor-sharp
See, I think you guys get the point. You guys get the point, right? Like, let's not mess with the ocean. Let's not go down there and see what's what, because ain't no lights. We don't have the technology yet, right? And I can only imagine, like, they probably ain't even get close to where the giant squid dude is. Like, they probably went to where that Lithuanian ship is, that 240 meter ship. What's it called? The Lufthansa. The Lusitania. That's what it's called. The ship is called the Lusitania. Yeah. That's probably how deep it was. But can't find it. This ocean is vast. It's a vast place. All right, so a couple more videos. The funny thing is the story goes from crazy, like every single part of this story has been crazy so far, like every single part of it, from the fact that it's the people that are going on the trip, right? Like the people who can afford to go on a submarine ride just to see the Titanic, right? Like there's that aspect of it, right? There's the aspect of the guy who didn't do his due diligence on a submarine he built using a PS1 controller. Bro doesn't even have ray tracing on his graphics. Bruh, the Nintendo DS has better graphics than, like, there's so many crazy aspects to it. I don't know what the craziest part of this story is. You guys are gonna have to tell me, what is the craziest part of the story so far? Is it the guy who didn't secure the vessel? Is it the fact that everybody was like, yo, I've been stuck on that thing before. Like, yo, that thing is no joke. Like, or is it the $250,000 you have to pay to crouch to go and see the Titanic in person, I guess. Humans baffle me sometimes. We are a very interesting creature. We are so interesting. All right, so let's see.
Joining us now is explorer Fred Hagen. He visited the Titanic wreckage twice aboard the submersible.
Why does he look like he's looking for Walter White? Like, he looks like Walter White's, like, brother-in-law.
Now missing. Thanks so much for coming on the show. Appreciate it. So I got to ask you just a big picture question first. Do you think that this vessel is safe?
Look. Sued. This is exactly. Oh, they had been sued. Oh yeah, of course. I'm not surprised. I just said sue right now. I didn't know they'd been sued before. Of course they've been sued. You using a bro? If I walked in and I gave you $250, bro, and I see you using a Sega game, like a Sega gamepad to control the ship, I'm suing your ass instantly off break, bro. Just off the principle of how you gonna disrespect me in 2023 and you don't even at least have a PS5 controller. Like, bro, off general principle, you getting sued. Bro, I'm not giving you $250. You scamming me somehow, bro. You don't even have real stickers for your buttons, bro. You wrote it with a Sharpie. I couldn't even read your handwriting, bro. Like, what if I need to man the shit, bro? Bro, you messing, bro. No, nah, bro. Of course they got sued. It makes sense. Like, a company like that, I imagine they stayed in court. They probably...
No one ever said the vessel was safe, and Stockton Rush never said it was safe.
Okay.
So
I wonder how this guy's gonna react. No one ever said that shit was safe. These motherfuckers, they knew what the hell they was getting into. Shit.
I get the concerns now. There's been an emergency. There's been a catastrophic failure. And there's a tendency to look back, and the tone is, oh, it's got camp parts. It's unreliable. No one ever said it was safe. Stockton Rush didn't say it was safe. Everyone that participated signed an agreement or signed a acknowledgement that they could die or be grievously.
Oh, man, this nigga must be his friend. This must be this dude. This must be the CEO homie. He probably in the corner like, hey, you know what's up, bro? You know what's up? You know what's up? He probably got investments in it or something. Cause there ain't no way you saying, oh, he never, bro. It does. That's not the point. That's not the point. Isn't that? Oh, we know it's not. Yeah, make it safer, bitch. What the hell's wrong with you? Like, what's wrong with people? Like, can somebody explain to me what is wrong with people? How is that a valid thing that a human being said out of his mouth? Like, how is that a valid thing that you said? Is that, oh, no one ever said it was safe. Bruh. Yeah, it's not safe, so make it safe. You a fucking doofus? Like, God, oh my goodness. I just sometimes let me let him land. Let me let him land. That's my thing. Let me let him land, and then I'll dissect.
Injured. So the fact that you use a game controller does not mean
it doesn't mean anything. Yeah, it means you're an asshole who doesn't understand that. Yo, you need a better control. Like, the connection has to be horrible. Like, there's no Bluetooth technology when it was invented. Bruh, there's wireless controllers now. You jackass. You friggin' jackass. Like, what do you... The fact that it was a PS4, PS1 controller, I don't mean no. It doesn't mean anything? I think it means everything. I think if you're willing to use a goddamn PS1 controller when there's a billion other systems, you could even use the Soldier Boy Game Boy, the gamepad at this point. I know that motherfucker got at least dual shock controls or some shit. Like, God, what is wrong with people, man?
It's a sophisticated, state-of-the-art piece of no one ever
said it was safe.
Stockton Rush never said it was safe. So I get the concerns now. There's been an emergency. There's been a catastrophic failure. And there's a tendency to look back, and the tone is, oh, it's got camp parts. It's unreliable. No one ever said it was safe. Stockton Rush didn't say it was safe. Everyone that participated.
If I could roll my eyes harder, I would.
Acknowledgement that they could die or be grievously injured. So the fact that you use a game controller does not mean anything. This is a sophisticated, state-of-the-art piece of equipment, and it was operated quite efficiently with a game controller. So I'm not sure what the point is.
The point is, there are better controllers for like $60, you old geezer. Like, what is wrong with this, man? I don't understand why everybody has a problem with the fact that we were using something that was super outdated for our supposedly sophisticated technical machine. I don't know. What? What is this guy smoking?
Where you're going with that? Because there has been a catastrophic event, but no.
I hope this guy tears into him.
That it was poorly planned. I think it was an inherently risky operation, and it was very dangerous. No one ever said it wasn't. In fact, the opposite was true. We were told repeatedly that we could be facing death or serious injury if anything went wrong.
Well, but they do invite journalists to come on. There's a guy who's on there right now who brought his son, his 19-year-old son, as well.
Yeah.
You do wonder, and again, you know better than me, right? This is the first time I'm hearing about this. You're an expert on this. I'm not. But when people say it's dangerous, you've got to accept the risks, et cetera. Anytime someone goes skydiving, right? Someone says, hey, there are risks, et cetera, right? This feels like what you're saying is this is a heck of a lot riskier than that.
This is a heck of a lot riskier than that, but I'm going to pose a question to you.
Yeah.
Mankind would never have advanced if they didn't accept risk.
Oh
We're
my
trying to
God!
explore inner space here.
Okay.
And Stockton.
All right. I see where this jackass is going with this. Let me give this guy some. All right. Of course. Yes. Duh. Yes, we have to accept risk. We have to accept risk to advance society. But there's a reason we test cosmetics and medicine on freaking bunny rabbits and freaking rats and stuff, so that we don't have to risk our lives, you jagmo. Like, what is wrong with this person? Like, this is the problem when people think that because they're on TV and they're saying things like it means nothing. You have a statue behind you, it's doing this, you look stupid. The words that are coming out of your mouth are stupid, and somebody should tell him that. That's a stupid thing to say. Yes, we have to accept risk. Yeah, but there's a reason that we mitigate the risks that we take. We're humans for a reason. We've thought, okay, if we're gonna have a submersible, maybe we should test it. I mean, maybe once before. Maybe we should update the controller. Just maybe make it a controller that was made in the modern era, like of video games. Like, there's been 50 consoles that have come out since that controller was viable. And at the time, maybe it was like a revolutionary controller, but it was easily outmatched within months when Xbox released. So the fact that you're using that is like, I don't know why people are pissed about that, because it shows a lack of seriousness. It shows a lack of care. You can't take $250,000 and not at least have a PS5 controller. Am I tripping? Like, the controller thing it's not like, because of the controller they feel. It's like the controller speaks to the larger issue, which is that whoever the CEO guy is a friggin' asshole who doesn't want to pay for anything. Bro, they give you $250 every time. If one person pays, it pays for the controller itself. I'm so baffled by this kind of stuff. Like, I'm so baffled when people have this kind of commentary about it too. Like, what are you talking about?
Rush is a visionary that saw the future at the bottom of the ocean. And
He's a visionary. There's gotta be this nigga homie. You cannot convince me. Either he has stock in it or he knows dude. Yeah, he has to know him. There's no way. I thought this was like I was reading this because I thought that's who he was. I'm like, okay, that's not. But yeah, this guy's a jagmo.
Basically realized his dream, and the fact that he's taking people to the bottom of the ocean is not just simply a game. These aren't tourists. Everybody keeps saying these are tourists. It's a tourist. It's not a tourist sub. These are serious people that want to contribute to the.
Oh yeah, that thing was pretty deep. Ooh yeah, you getting scary deep. That's scary deep. Yeah, y'all scary deep. That's no. Yeah, you remember that little graph I showed you? They were deep down in there now. Ooh, I did not realize how deep the Titanic wreckage was. Jesus Christ. Wow.
Science of deep ocean exploration, and they're contributing their funds and their time and their resources to do so, because the future of this world and our efforts to combat climate change are intimately intertwined with the ocean floor. You've got lithium there.
Okay, wait. So this is a submarine versus a submersible. They're saying a submarine has enough power to leave port and come back to port under its own power. That's the difference between a submarine and a submersible. All right, a submersible has limited power reserves, so it needs a mothership that can launch it and recover it. So I'm like a football, you just toss me out there and I gotta wait for you to come back and get me? Hell nah, yeah, that nigga's tripping. What? Bruh. You just, all right, y'all. Boop. I'm gonna come get you in a couple minutes. I'll get you. Like what? All right, let's go. Let's go.
Intimately intertwined with the ocean floor. You've got lithium there. You've got all the elements that will power the green economy that we are pursuing, and we have to be able to access it safely without desecrating the ocean floor. That's the vision of people like Stockton Rush. If we were unable to accept risk as a society, we would still be paddling canoes.
That's not true yet. Oh my goodness. There's a reason we test medicine on different animals, so we don't have like the. Oh my God. I'm so tired. I'm not gonna make that point again. I've made it several times, and I'm just be repeating myself. So no.
We would never learn to sail across oceans. We would never have gone into outer space. It's just risky. And I know that
we sent dogs and monkeys and stuff before we sent real humans.
It's horrifying that a father and son are down there. Last year when I went, a father and son went with me. And there are people that I know. PH Nargelet is one of the most wonderful people I've ever met. And I suffer intense pain just thinking of them down there freezing in the cold in a world of perpetual darkness. It's hard to think about. But that was a risk that they accepted and they took.
And let me say that he's on this trip, right? So Stockton Rush is there. So the proof is in the pudding to some degree about what you're saying. But isn't this still a tourist endeavor to get to see the Titanic? I mean, is that a mischaracterization of what this submersible does?
It's an oversimplification. Basically, you're taking the Titanic, which is one of the most iconic objects on the ocean floor, and you're using it to take people to see something they dreamt about seeing. They want to go. They want to spend.
I don't know how much this guy is paying this guy, but it's not enough. There is nobody that's paying anybody enough to go and, man, ooh, that dude better, hey, whatever that paycheck is, it better be good, because this is soulless. Like, come on, bro. You don't believe the stuff you're saying. There's no way you're like, yeah, those, like, of course they took the risk, but you as the owner and proprietor should be doing everything in your power to make sure that these human beings have the safest possible journey. If you're not doing that, if you're not following regulation, you're messing up and you're putting these people's lives in jeopardy. That is not cool. That is not cool. And amidst, this is the part of the story that I can go take or leave. Social media has gotten wind of this the story as usual. And you know how social media does. And celebrities have started to join into the fray, into the mix, and started to kind of give their own 2 cents and takes on it. And Cardi B has jumped in the fray, and we'll see what she's saying, and if we agree or disagree, and we'll give our commentary as such.
Okay, so one of the billionaires that's missing on the water from that submarine ship, one of the billionaires, their stepson, is at a concert, right? At a Blink-182 concert. And people is like, well, what is he supposed to do? Be sad at the house? Is he supposed to go look for himself? Yes. You're supposed to be at the house sad. You're supposed to be crying for me. You're supposed to be right next to the phone waiting to hear any updates about me. You're supposed to be counseling your mom and shit. Like, isn't it sad that you a whole fucking billionaire and nobody gives a fuck about you? Like you missing and motherfucker ready to shake dick at concert. That's crazy. I'd rather be broke. I'd rather be broke than like and poor, but knowing that I'm loved. Like,
ooh, okay. So, okay. She brings up an interesting point in that it might be just okay, so here's it might be distasteful being here, but my family would want me to be at the Blink-182 show as it's my favorite band and music helps me in difficult times. I hate that I'm about to do this. I need to go full screen for this. Let me go full screen for this. I literally loathe the fact that I'm about to do this. So I had to bring you guys in for the full screen. I agree with Cardi B. Cardi B, yo, what is wrong with you, bro? Bro, I need you to get another submarine and your ass need to be out there, bro. Like, what are you doing? Like, why? Yo, you couldn't stay your ass at home. Like, if music helps you, get your ass on your iPod or iPhone or whatever the hell you got. Nigga, plug them phones in and listen to you some Blink 182. But what are you? Oh my God. People, we live in a world where people don't understand reading the room, right? Like, read the room, player. Like, yo, what are you doing? Your family is missing. Bruh said, it might be distasteful being here, but my family wouldn't, bruh. Like, at first, I promise you, I was going to come here and be like, I was going to give him a pass. And then I read the moment I read his tweet, I think that's what, like, nah, bro. Nah, bro. Bro, no. I don't even know what excuse I would have accepted to be like, all right, whatever, you're at the concert. Like, the only excuse I would have accepted is, like, you found out about the submarine thing as your ass was in the fucking stadium at the show. These niggas about to start drumming, right? Like, they're about to start drumming. The set's about to play. The band's about to start. Like, that's the only time. And even then, nigga, you should leave, bro. Like, leave. But, like, that would be the only, like, yeah, I was really already at the concert. Nigga, your ass shouldn't be, you flew out to go to a concert when your family missing, bro. Like, you are a freaking I can't say these words, but yeah, that's horrible, bro. Don't do it. Oh my goodness, this guy's such a jackass. Like, yo, come on. All right, so apparently, like, our friend here got wind of Cardi B's comments, which I'm surprised I agree with. I think, like I said, this jackass's tweet really kind of mobilized me to be like, yo, this guy's a freaking clown. Let's see what he has to say in response to Cardi B.
Thanks for the love and the support. Here are the facts, okay? Believe it or not, I have about $100 to my name. I can't go out to the ocean. I have a legal situation keeping me here as well. I can't get on a flight. I don't have a passport. I was sitting here yesterday watching the news for 2 days straight. I go to a Blink 182 show because I have a ticket. It wasn't like I was having super fun. It wasn't like I was celebrating, having a great time. I was kind of just listening to some of my all-time favorite songs, kind of like nodding my head and just trying to get off the phone for like maybe like 2 hours or so and come right back into the drama. The submarine is stuck at the damn Titanic. There's nothing I can do for the situation at all. So that's the truth. So you take a complete bitch like Cardi B, has no idea.
Before I let this dude roll on, all right, listening to him talk, and I'm a little more, now I'm 1 foot back. It's the worst. I know I'm the worst. But I'm like 1 foot back in his camp, 1 foot in a Cardi B camp. So I'm kind of like I'm going both, kind of dipping into both camps right now, right? So yeah, let's go.
What's going on? Her career is in such turmoil. She needs clout off other people's suffering. And she's like, he won't go help. Blah, blah, blah. He goes to a rock concert, this and that. Tries to use the situation to exploit, like the news. They're not like feeling sorry that my mom has to take care of 2 kids. Not really giving a fuck that my stepdad's probably 99% chance he's dead. That doesn't matter. Doesn't care how we feel. Just trying to like fucking make gains. People like trolling, getting hate mail, all these things. And it's just fucked up. And to have Cardi B behind it, Cardi B, like, fucking grow up, get some class. Like, you're tasteless.
Like I said, I think guy has like obviously some speech issues, might have some developmental issues, and I don't know this. So I'm not gonna put that on this man, but this is a tough one. Like this, like I want to clown and I want to make jokes and stuff, but it's a really really tough situation, and people do process grief differently, right? Like that's what I've realized is I don't know how you process grief. Maybe you don't process grief the way he processes grief, right? Maybe how he processes it, he listens to a bunch of music and, he has to be somewhere. Maybe he's not happy. He's just, like he said, nodding his head and he's just like kind of there, like using it to kind of process or like trying to, so I don't know. And it's hard for me to, it's easy for me to make fun off face value, right? It's easy for me to jump on the Cardi B bandwagon and say, hey man, this guy, da, da, da. But when I listen to him talk and I'm like, all right, whatever, dude. Like, I wouldn't celebrate that way. But if that's what you need to, I can't tell people how to grieve their family. It's not my family that I lost, right? Like, I can't tell you how to grieve. It looks a certain type of way. It looks kind of crazy. But man, it's interesting.
This whole situation's a fucking nightmare, though. Everything about it, especially what Hamish is going through down there, it is just fucking god awful. And I really appreciate the love and support. Haven't slept in days. It's not about me. Obviously, just too worried about my mom, the situation. So I'm not like rocking out or whatever they're trying to accuse me of doing, but it just fucking makes the situation that much worse to have outside forces that are using their power for like complete fucking evil.
So, like I said, yes, he's a billionaire son, but he's like the stepson, I guess. So like, that's a little different. Like, you can have access to the resources, but you don't have the resources, if that makes sense, right? Like, it's not like that's your dad. It's not like, hey, daddy, let me get like, you finna spend $250 on that trip. Let me get like 100. Let me hold 100. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not happening. So, it's a sad situation, man. It's crazy, and for this to be the culmination, I think, is the saddest part. I try to end a lot of the shows with some like levity, some like something positive or something like that, just so whenever we leave on a good note. And sometimes it can be hard when you get stories like this where it just seems like it's like a tragic situation, right? Like, it's just all the worst possible situations, like this guy probably has done that trip. The CEO guy has probably done that trip hundreds of times. Like, he's probably done it 100 times, 1 or 2 issues, maybe 2 or 3 issues there, but never something like this. And for it to like happen now, that's tough. It's tough. Let's watch this. And this is the latest update from the wreckage. And you guys probably know, but let's watch.
This morning, an ROV, or remote operated vehicle, from the vessel Horizon Arctic discovered the tail cone of the Titan submersible approximately 1,600 feet from the bow of the Titanic on the seafloor. The ROV subsequently found additional debris. In consultation with experts from within the Unified Command, the debris is consistent with the catastrophic loss of the pressure chamber. Upon this determination, we immediately notified the families. On behalf of the United States Coast Guard and the entire Unified Command, I offer my deepest condolences to the families. I can only imagine what this has been like for them, and I hope that this discovery provides some solace during this difficult time.
There you have it. Those, rest their souls, man. It's tragic. It's a tragic situation that happened, and you hate to see like a loss of life or something like that. And we were all, I think everybody was like kind of secretly hoping they were okay, and nobody wanted, like people made their jokes. People, people were kind of trashing on the kid, and like he's not a kid, he looks like a grown man. Like, I don't know why they made him look like he was like a 17-year-old kid or 18-year-old kid going to a concert. That guy's like pushing 45. Like, yo, like that's nuts. So it's an interesting story. Like, to have these people go to just to go to see the Titanic. Like, it's just, I don't know what I want to see that bad. And I'm like, all right, let me go to one of the deepest, darkest parts of the ocean to go and check it out. But apparently, this social media, plays no games. They waste no time. So apparently, the Simpsons predicted this. How? Well, it's the Simpsons, duh. Like, of course they predicted it.
Simpsons have once again predicted the future, and this has to be the craziest one yet. They predicted the submarine that went down to search for the Titanic. First off, right here, Homer finds out that this is his real dad, a rich guy, and in the actual situation, there is a kid in there with his rich dad. He even says it right here, searching for treasure with my long-lost son. We see them go by some sort of an abandoned ship, obviously not quite the Titanic, but just eerily similar. And when Homer's in there, his oxygen gets low. I also, about 6 months ago, had the chance to interview a Simpsons writer, and he told me exactly how they predict the future.
Where in the writing process do you predict the future? Is that beginning of the writing process? Is that after the second draft?
We have a team of geniuses that are locked in a self-storage unit in Riverside, California, and we go before them. And they're like the oracles, and they consult all the different sources, and they'll tell us. It's not predicting. They just dictate the future, and then we're mandated to put it in the script.
The Simpsons predicted it again.
Today, I'm filled with joy, searching for treasure with my long-lost son. My dream for each of you is that you find the happiness I feel today.
On the real, though, Simpsons is a little weird with that. But I think it's because, right, like, it seems like random that they're always doing it, but the show has been on, it feels like since the beginning of time. Like, how long has The Simpsons been on air? Like, let's look at how long The Simpsons has been on air. Give me one moment, I'm looking on my phone. How long? Simpsons been on. Okay. Oh my goodness. It's on its 34th season since 1989. Since 1989. It's in its 34th season.
And my dream is to someday wear a real wetsuit instead of one that is just painted on.
Missed a spot. There we go.
Oh. That's the CEO guy.
There we go.
All the conspiracy theorists are about to go crazy. The conspiracy theorists are about to go nuts on this one. It was a Builder bears,
These waters
builder
contain
birds or
some of
something.
Mother Nature's most stunning creatures.
The Simpsons is crazy.
Haha, that's what you get for being luminous, jerks.
Homer, look! The treasure of Piso Mojado!
Hey guys, we found the treasure.
Well, how did they predict the future? This is not even the Titanic. That's the problem. It's like, yeah, these people be grasping at straws. No, this is not it. Let's finish it. This is not it.
This is WA3QIZ. Do you read me?
Seymour, isn't it about time you made a real friend?
Mother, please. I'm communicating with my fellow hams.
How do I talk? Push this button here. You're all losers!
Oh, which way did Mason go? That must be him over there.
Okay, so that's the Simpsons predicting it. But they don't really predict it. They just kind of say he goes down and, like, I don't know. People give the Simpsons a lot of credit for things, but the reason, like I said, is because they've been on for so long. There's like, at some point you're recycling the same jokes. You go and do the same material over. You can only come up with so many things. So they've had the time, they've had the crew, like they're gonna do pretty much anything you can imagine, and you can always find something, a scene or something that says, oh, it proves my point that they're predicting the future. They're not predicting nothing. All right. Well, that is pretty much the story so far. This has been the longest probable episode I've ever done on this channel, and I'm going to cut it up as much as I can, but the first upload is probably going to be an hour because it's everything that I can possibly find on this submarine story that wasn't like conspiracy theories, because there is like I said, conspiracy theories about this that's out already. That's like, all right, not even going to go into those. So it's your boy Ty with Contentious Conversations. I appreciate you taking a look at this podcast. It's your boy, and I'm out.